All right, everyone. We are in kind of an exciting round one matchup. This is the round one qualifiers for the Omega Series, and this is going to be game one between Pro and Control Alt Defeat. And keep in mind, these are two of the higher OS teams in the tournament. I think Pro is like the third highest, and CAD is pretty high up there too. They've got like Rebel Node, who's 42, Panda, who's 42 OS. Watch Me Do This is like high 30s, so it's a pretty strong team. I'm excited to see it happen, and I am joined by the wonderful Aiden Knott. What would you like to say for yourself, sir?
I'm excited for these games.
Likewise.
I believe the bans are starting now.
Oh, okay, I'm going.
Not to
You're good. You're good
here, but I believe first team has banned Tabula Rasa, or just Tabula.
Yep, Tabula. You're good. I think we're going to see that a lot because it was a late addition to the pool, right? So it's kind of like if you didn't practice it and you're practicing Boulder Beach, you might not want to do it. But I know a lot of the older teams, like they've played so many games on it that they're super comfortable on it.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that assessment. I know I didn't get nearly as much practice on this one, but given the different the different stages of play on that map, you've got your bot lanes, you've got your vehicle lanes. There's a lot of strategies that can take place if one's not prepared for it. So it's understandable that they get that one right out of the gate.
Yeah, it definitely can be technical, especially where we've seen teams decide if they want to play water or if they just want to abandon water and then do like a strong side with like LLTs high. So that's interesting. It seems like Pro's taken a while to figure out their second ban. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's important to make sure that you get the right maps banned out. It looks like they just banned Nuclear Winter.
Interesting. All right. I wonder why they banned that though. That's kind of trippy. I think for us, or at least for myself, that's like a comfort map because we played it so much in 8s, and I'm like, man, like don't ban that map. I know where all the paths are. I'm comfortable with it, even if there's fewer players on it.
Maybe that's the strategy they're going for. They're getting rid of those comfort picks. I know there's also some cheeky air stuff that you can do, especially with that bottom, the mountain in the bottom of the map. There's a little bit of reclaim.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different choke points that you can launch flanking attacks from.
That's a good point though, because a lot of the pro team has a ton of like 1v1 players, and so I can imagine they kind of want, instead of those smaller maps, they kind of might want to try to play on larger maps where they can leverage like their 1v1 skills and their micro. So that actually, I guess, kind of makes sense as a ban now that I think about it. And we
got a bit of a faster response here. Angels Crossing is the next ban.
I feel like we've seen this banned a few times already, and I feel like teams either love it or they hate it. And I think it's entirely dictated, like we talked about before, with just how prepared they are for it. I think it is the most technical map in the entire pool. There's just so much you can do with it. And so it makes sense. Like we did the same thing. We're like, we don't feel comfortable executing well on this map, so let's just not have to do it.
And Red Rock Desert is the final ban of this matchup here.
Okay, and that kind of makes a bit of sense to me, especially if we were talking about they don't want to do kind of the smaller maps. Red Rock is real close and real personal when you're actually playing it. I think it might be the smallest, if not one of the smallest maps in the tourney, right? So I get that. That's another kind of technical map, but I feel like it just plays really weird because you can have, air can go on any corner. You can co-op labs. You can go, 5 lab if you want. It's definitely, there's a lot of kind of mixtures in it. So we'll see. All right. So we got the four bands, and CAD, let's see, CAD picks first. So we're waiting on them. I'm curious how this will play out, what they practice and what they feel comfortable on versus Pro.
You're not going to believe this. First pick is Tangerine.
Okay. A lot of other teams really like this map. The whole like 600k reclaim mini Supreme straight. We weren't the biggest fans of it. I would also say that we never were able to scrim as like our whole cohort, but when we were doing some test plays on it, we're like, this is a weird map. We are not Not a
I'll be
fan.
totally honest. I'm scared of this map. I
Yeah.
it's a weird one to play with that being so small and with the two different sea locations, that silly little pond in the middle. Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff can happen on this map.
Yeah, and it's funny though because it is a smaller map, right? They're kind of like, "Hey, you're banning out our small maps, but here's one that's relatively small that we can do." There's also quite a bit of cheese on that can happen on Tangerine. I think there's some technical aspects to it that are nice.
All right, other team is responding with an Alter Divide pick.
Okay, so interestingly enough, I know that you might not be the biggest fan of this map. I like this
No.
map, but it's funny because both these maps have so much reclaim. So I feel like you're going to see a lot of like the bot opens on it, but I also feel like they're both really snowbally.
Yeah, that's one of the aspects of heavy reclaim is if you're not contesting that reclaim right away and you're not contesting aggressively, it can, like you said, snowball insanely fast.
Yeah.
Next pick. Team's really thinking on this one now. Pawn Retreat. Okay, Pawn Retreat is the third pick here.
Yeah, that's another eights map. I think though that, well, depending on how it goes, I think this could kind of play into pro strengths a little bit more because it is such a wide map and there's the lanes are especially in fives, the lanes are just sort of so varied and there's a lot of kind of play between it. Right. Yeah, I'm curious.
DSDR is the final pick.
All right, you're good. That was quick. So interesting.
They fired that one off real quick.
Yeah, they're ready for that. They're like, hey, let's get back into DSD, which we've talked about. I feel like that might be a comfort pick for a lot of teams, just because even though it's fives, you've played it a million times in eights. But yeah, that's fun. That's definitely kind of an interesting map pool for this BO4. So keep in mind, it is a BO4, which if you're watching round one and you're like, how does a BO4 work? That makes no sense. Basically, it's for the Swiss system. So if one team wins 3 games, it's just 3-0 and the series ends. But teams can tie and it'd be 2-2. And so you get fewer points if it's 2-2 and you get more points if it's a 3-0 or a 3-1. And we are waiting for the players to load in. I am hearing it, and I think we are ready to hop into the game. Oh, and Aluton, look at this with the GLHF. Look at all these mannered players. Aiden, why don't I find these players in my pub lobbies, huh?
They're too focused on probably cheesing you out of a free OS.
That's fair. All right, let's get some introductions here. So for CAD or Control to Feet, we've got Watch Me Do This as red. It looks like he's gonna open arm in back, arm bots. We've got Praetor, who is core. I'm guessing he's gonna go core air, but we'll see. Aluton, who is arm vehicles in orange. And Rebel Node, who is purple core bots, probably for the reclaim. And lastly, we've got Sad Panda, putting on his flippers, and this man is tan and he is swimming.
Right, you are there in the top here, starting on the left side. Rocking the purple, we have Pro Shaman, opening an air lab, looks like core air. Right next to him, Pro Randy, sporting the blue, opening arm bots. Underneath him to the south a little bit, Pro Elmer Fudd, doing the same thing, opening arm bots.
Lots of bots, but makes sense for the reclaim.
We have another core bot opening from Pro Day Walker. And finally, in the water, getting wet, rocking that light blue color, Pro High Gain.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some of those people are kind of newer additions to the Pro clan, but terrifying, absolutely terrifying team. This is one of the teams that we're definitely a little scared to face.
Well, they've been around forever, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, they really have.
I recognize Pro Randy from the TAU days, which is like, old school forums in the 2000s. I'm pretty sure this guy's played a lot of video games.
Yeah, that's way before my time. So Aluton gets some rovers in. He gets a little bit of scouting info, and Predator opened fighter here. And I think he's gotten a little bit of vision, but I think he's just keeping this fighter in case there's a comm bomb or something else.
No doubt that with how small and how resource rich this map is, it's possible that teams may have some sneaky strategies up their sleeve, and it's good to have a single fighter there to keep any transports in check.
Oh, you know what it is? He made an aircon, which is mind-blowing to me, and the fighter was guarding the aircon so it could reclaim in mid, which is kind of a cute play. I like that, actually.
That's what, about 600 metal in the middle?
Yeah, I think it's like 600 or 7 maybe. So
7, yeah.
I'm
so
on board for it.
Yeah, for 115, getting another 600 from that.
So,
pretty good.
Interesting. Both Hygain and Panda opened ships against no one. So I'm curious if they're just going to come over and start barraging these poor shores, which is every frontline player's nightmare. But I guess we'll see.
What I'm more curious to see is that at least Sad Panda opened with a frigate. I'm not. Would you tell me about a frigate's capabilities of assaulting land? Because I don't think there really is much.
Yeah, you kind of want to go the destroyer. I think he kind of felt locked into it, right? You need the herring to snipe transports and to snipe Shuris and AA. And then I think maybe he thought it was going to be a contested naval lane, so he made the safe play of going frigate. But I imagine he'll just want to transfer into destroyers relatively soon. He's just going to eat the lab. He's like, wait, if no one is sea here, I don't even want to make ships. So maybe he just goes amphibious.
And amphib lab here would be a good call.
Hygain is keeping his lab though, and he is spamming herring, so at least he can cover Daywalker, because Daywalker doesn't have any AA. So if Shuri's come out, at least Hygain has all the herrings in the world to stop it. But both these mid lanes are kind of stalled out, right? I mean, Elmer Fudd has 2 claws down, and T1 is going to have a heck of a time trying to break that. And then on the other side, it's Aluton and Pro Daywalker, just 2 lines of grunts staring at each other, asking how the weather is.
Getting a couple of rockets to the face from Hygain. So 650 range on the herring. That's actually quite significant. So
yeah, it is actually a little bit more than I thought it was, and they can kind of chip away at this.
Hygain got about 3 grunt kills. Now I'm sure Rebel or Alton or somebody will be able to resurrect those fairly easily, given how passive both teams are.
Yeah, I'm wondering kind of what the play is here. This is interesting.
Well, I can tell you what the play is. Pro Randy is pumping out a T2 lab.
Oh, wow. That is, yeah, it's a 5-minute T2. He doesn't even have his Geo yet, but there's so much reclaim, I guess he doesn't really need it. So, yeah, this is an early T2. Do we have any T2 yet on CAD? Doesn't look like it, right?
We do not, no. Red player's getting his Geo up. Yeah, they're getting their Geos up, but they haven't transitioned to T2. So we'll see if blue team is able to take advantage of this and use their tech advantage.
Yeah, I mean,
to their advantage.
That's such a the tech advantage of the advantage. Indeed. Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of scary, right? Because it feels like there's a timer on CAD right now where if they're not going to be able to punish this relatively soon, just like with more T1 units, then I think you're just going to get walked over by hounds or something similar. I mean, I think you could argue if they do a slightly later T2 tech. Oh, it's just dropping now. Rebel's dropping his T2. And you can hold mid with like rattles or something. And well, actually he's core, so he can definitely just hold it with Sheldons versus hounds, but kind of concerning.
I'm looking at Rebel Node here, and I think he's saying this wall just got 10 feet higher. He's plopping down the dragon's teeth. He's fortified a couple of dragon's maws.
Wow, yeah,
he's playing for the long term there.
I mean, I like it, especially if he has, the claws that's hidden, or the maw that's hidden in the wall. I think it's a great thing to do if you have the other 2 that are on hold, or the 2 that are attacking normally, and you have 1 on hold fire, and you can just kind of game the opponent into walking into him and then actually hitting him.
I think the Dragon's Maw setups are perfectly fine. We don't need to, plop down another 100 metal just to get extra walls in, especially when you have that little pond in the middle that units can just waltz through anyway, especially like hovercraft or whatever.
So some slight skirmishing. Aluton in his true meta slave form. We got a little Whistler Janus, something that I think we've all seen, and he's pushed high gain back a bit. I don't know how well this is going to work though. I feel like I don't really see Whistler versus Herring very much. I guess Aluton wins because he can repair with his comm, but high gain's bringing his comm over too, so I guess we'll learn really quick. I mean, they're both
no doubt red team's starting to feel the pressure because they haven't experienced any aggression from blue team, and that's cause for concern. Like, something's happening. We got to try to make something happen.
Yeah, and yeah, it turns out Herrings outrange Whistler substantially, so that makes a little bit more sense. Although maybe he can snipe this one. So he gets 2, and he's lost 1. He's lost 2 Whistlers, so it's a 2-for-2 trade right now. But I feel like he's basically just keeping Aluton here locked in, and then wasting time waiting for the Hounds, which are coming out now. And with those T2 Mexes, and especially with that AGO, this energy difference is terrifying.
Oh yeah, we're already about a 50, 60, 70% lead for the blue team. I mean, that's just going to snowball to more and more of a lead unless red team can try and get something done. They did plop down their own T2 lab. What? I don't.
Sheldon's coming out now, so the Sheldons can at least fight the Hounds, but we'll see.
Looks like red team went for a couple of the T2 constructors before building any units.
I think on this, because their sliders are so, well, actually their sliders are super low, but they have lower sliders. I think it might make sense because they're like, hey guys, just stop making T2, overflow all your metal into me, right? Or stop making T1, just overflow your metal and let's go.
I just looked at the sliders. Look at pro team. They have their metal set down to like 10-20%.
Hey man, these guys are old friends. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is yours.
Very trusting indeed.
And Sad Panda actually did a full swap, so he's got an amphibious lab. He's dropping 1 poison arrow and 4 salamanders, which I really like because I feel like even though high gain is kind of helping here a bit, he's not really doing too much otherwise. So he's actually going to drop salamanders as well. So this could be an amphibious assault that hits pretty close to the same time from each side.
Orange is getting pushed in now.
Yeah,
tensions are rising here.
So wait, where are these Sheldons that he had? Oh, he does have Sheldons. So it looks like Randy gave Daywalker these Hounds, right? So these Hounds are able to just kind of push back all this T1, and they have Sheldons on Rebel Node's side, but for whatever reason, he doesn't want to bring them over to fight the Hounds. And
perhaps he was anticipating the Twitcher. Oh, okay.
Just for fiends. Maybe he thinks he can just run at the Hounds. I guess we'll see. Sad Panda. Oh, Sad Panda's going Salas first. Oh, here come the Shuris. What's the air situation like? Oh man, wait, where did the Herrings go? Man, when the Herrings backed off, actually, this is kind of scary because these Shuris can lock down Hounds. You got
a little bit of mistake.
We need some good self-Ds though.
The fighters can come in, but fiends are pushing forward, dealing a bit of damage. Do we see any? No, I'm not seeing any self-destruct action here. Yeah, but perhaps they don't need it.
I don't feel like that was that much damage. I thought it'd be more. I mean, he did kill quite a bit, but he doesn't control the wreck field, right? By pushing out this far, I think those Herrings can just hit from the side, and I don't know what he's gonna do from that. All right, here we go. Sala's on the left, Sala's on the right. Sad Panda's sending his in first. Let's see what they can get. Unfortunately, Shaman's Calm is here, and their dragons.
Both teams are prepared for these assaults.
Yeah, there's a lot of LLTs there.
They're right. Now.
Oh no, Shaman, does he get it? Wait, what? Why didn't he degun? Shaman, oh no.
Damn it, get back there.
He gets them both anyway. Oh, okay. All right, he's got him. So while this battle in mid is going, now we've got High Gain with his 5 salamanders on the side, and
there's a bit of a chink in the armor here.
Yeah, man, all that massive LLT wall isn't going to be there in time, but watch me do this is coming over. Hopefully his comm can get this. There's one claw that's kind of holding it back. Commander lands. Do we got D-guns, sir? Your D-guns? Oh no, these converters. Oh god. All right, well, that hurts. High gain takes quite a bit with that, and I don't think this column is fast enough. I think that...
No, he lost his transport too, so he's just gonna waddle and watch his base get dismantled by these salamanders.
Yeah, that is brutal. Although in positive for CAD, it looks like they are able to push quite a bit up here.
Juicy little EMP connect there, though, so I think that aggression is getting stopped.
Let's see. There are hounds, though, and I mean, I feel like Sheldon's fight pretty well into... Oh, no! Oh, my God, Randy. Randy is a god. That was one spy bot to stun 9 Sheldons, which are all going to die now. Unfortunately, there were no grunt spam with it, so they were able to just find it and kill it, and that's honestly pretty terrifying. These salamanders finally get cleaned up, but Watch Me Do This lost almost his entire base, and now we're looking at a pretty brutal economic advantage, right?
I would definitely have to agree with that. All those energy converters getting popped by the salamanders. Watch Me Do This is rebuilding, but he doesn't have a lab yet. He's not producing any units. Kind of sitting on a metal bank.
And it's interesting, Pro is just still committed to a ton of hounds, just hound tick and trying to push and end it early. I kind of feel like they just need like a spy bot or two, right, from Rebel Node?
Oh,
I mean, if he can run past and hit that ball, they get stunned.
Yeah, just looking over the map here, we got forces piling up here. Hounds on the left,
Sad Panda,
bottom right.
oh my God, he just
Oh,
let him cook.
No way.
He literally was just cloaked, walked up and degunned it and took out.
Yes, I will take this. Thank you.
Does he get out of here too? All right, that is...
No way they just let him walk out of there.
100%. He's done. He's out. That's all right. That might be one of the more chat moves I've seen so far in the tourney. Just
Sad
cloak,
Panda, settle down.
Walk up, take a base, walk out. No problems here. Oh, next raid of Salas is coming though, and High Gain wants blood. There are more LLTs on this side, but I don't think these LLTs are enough, right? I mean, you're looking at like very
I think the approach from Pro Shaman with the Dragon's Claws and Dragons to the Lightning Turrets for the arm side, I think are a much better way to handle these kinds of units they're rolling in now.
Yeah, agreed. So there is a poison arrow from Sad Panda, and maybe he can kind of bully these hounds, but man, the spybot play from Randy's scary. If he can land another spybot or two, I'm really worried about CAD's chances to stay in this game.
Have neither team put down a anti-intrusion?
I don't see one on the map, but I do see a gantry going down for Randy, which is a little concerning.
Do they have the metal to put that out right now? Maybe they just feel really comfortable about the state they're in.
I mean, I feel like one Razor probably, as long as it doesn't get degunned, probably just carries this. But I guess we'll see. You could also Mara from the side. That was a pretty good... Oh.
I don't think that was enough, though.
Yeah, it was close, but it wasn't quite enough. You're right.
See, they can pull the bunch of shurikens coming in to defend the hounds now. Those salamanders are EMP resistant, but I don't know if they're that resistant. They get forced back.
Yeah, it was enough, thankfully, man. If Sal's, they have what, 90, I think, or 87? Yeah, 90. If they didn't have 90, those are all just metal donations. Oh my God, not again, dude. Randy has probably hit like 5 EMPs this round, and it is incredible. And Watch Me Do This, he says, or Progan says, hey,
this is what I was talking about earlier. You gotta make sure all your lanes are checked.
Yeah, this is gonna be
There
scary.
should be a sonar in there to look for this, but nope, they're just gonna, you know, see the doors open, walk right in, invite themselves in, say, hey, can we have your entire base, please?
Yeah, this is a little scary, right? I mean, can they get in and pop this Agio? I feel like if this Agio goes down, it's just game. The Sheldons are next to it, but they need to start moving. These Salas are booking. He's gonna start picking away the wind farm. He's closing in. Can he pop the converter? If he can get the converter or some BP, this is worth it.
Oh yeah,
no.
These shurikens are trying their best, but they're tickling.
Oh God, 2,500, 50. It's dead. It's gone, and this is gonna be. Oh no,
boy.
All right, but we got the Hail Mary bombing run. So Predator says, hey guys, I know things are going bad, but let me see if I can save the day.
No, I don't. There's only a few thistles.
Maybe
a few fighters. With how close these fighters are in.
There's a flak though. I think they're. Oh,
Oh,
no. He
oh
doesn't
yeah, I
quite
missed
get-
it. 2 flag. Okay, yeah, they. That does not feel
Yeah,
good.
those two flak have 44 kills, and yeah, with that, they're like, you know what? We're not going to be able to recover from that. Man, you want to talk about some absolutely incredible spybot play. Randy basically solo carried that whole left push with like 3 or 4 incredible M's. I mean, that was kind of brutal to watch from the Rebel node side. And there's a Razor on the field out now, so kind of an interesting game. I feel like it was relatively close at the start, and that early T2 just kind of snowballed out from them. It's also funny, Randy, in what I normally don't think of him as, was basically just the support in back, right? He only did 7.2k damage. He was just funneling for his team and trying to do, you know, everything he could. So kind of interesting. How'd you feel about that?
I was a little surprised by how normal that game felt. Like I was expecting a lot more cheese from plenty of the players that whoever picked this map, given how close spawn it is. But
Yeah, no, good
yeah,
point.
they played that calm. They played that efficiently, and we got to tier 3 on this map, which is kind of neat to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly fast T3, though. I feel like a lot of these co-op maps, we're going to see that as the tournament progresses, where these teams have a really refined understanding of like, hey, if all of our sliders are down and no one is producing other stuff, we can get Razors out in 11 minutes or 12 minutes. And it's one of those things where if you're not prepared for it, that early T3 is such a problem to deal with. It is pretty scary. But so BO4 series is now in favor of Pro. They are up 1-0, and we are going to head over to game 2 and see how it progresses.